Hello and hi, my name is Connor. It's that time again to talk about my favorite Japanese albums that are on Bandcamp that I think you should buy on Bandcamp Day 2025. This is the fourth one, I think, and in case you don't know, it will be happening on December 5th. So what is Bandcamp Friday? That is the most wonderful day of the year, of, like I said, like 4 or 5, where the record labels and the artist will get 100% of whatever you buy on the website. So what that means is, let's say you buy an album for $20, they get $20. Bandcamp takes no cut. Okay, how cool is that? If you want to support maybe some of your favorite artists, then this is the best way to do it. And so of course, the reason that I make these videos is because I like to see some of those artists get paid. And also, in case you didn't know they were out there, these are just some more great recommendations too. I think this is the third volume that I'm doing. I will be making more in the future. So, maybe if you're interested in what I've talked about in the past, you can go check out those videos. I have talked about lots and lots of stuff, and I am ready to do that again today too. I think first I need some tea. I am rocking with the black tea peach flavor for today because I have a lot of talking ahead of me, I think. Well, first up, I was going to talk about Radwimps because they actually put their music on Bandcamp about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and it's gone. The page is down. Maybe it was an illegal page, I don't know, but it is gone. So I guess we're going to move on to my second one here, which is going to be the band Moreru. I believe I talked about Moreru in my October mega review video. It's kind of hard to remember because I talked about 39 albums, and that was one of them, I believe. Moreru are crazy. They are the most avant-garde punk band I think I've ever heard, and I think that's even what I said in my video. This is like crazy punk, speed metal, abrasive, dark dungeony music, man. I don't know. This album is titled Bobo Kuku Toto Kiki Mimi Dada Keke no no Kisese Kaka Ii. And so luckily for us, they have translated what they want that to be in English, which is Sekai Yuyu and An Mami. This is crazy. I talked about all of those like genres and sounds here at the beginning. That holds true. One thing I mentioned in my video, and I want to mention here too, is do not listen to this too loud. They have somehow made it incredibly loud in the mix, much like JPEG Mafia does. Love him for that, and I love them for that here too, but this is louder than you think it is. And so for that reason, I don't want you to break your ears the first time you listen to that first song because it really hits you. I literally listened to this at like 60% volume, I want to say, and my ears immediately started ringing. So be careful. This is going to run you 1,500 yen, which I'm gonna say off the top of my head is like $9.50 or like $10. It's a great deal, I think. And just in case it helps to seal the deal as well, I rated this a 9. I really like it. It's really, really cool. All right, now I'm gonna hit us with some whiplash here because next I want to talk about a famous Shibuya K band, which is called Sunny Day Service. You've probably heard of them. You've probably seen some of their albums around. They are on Bandcamp, though not everything is on Bandcamp. I believe the discography only goes back to 2020. With that said, though, that's still like 5 or 6 albums. What I want to talk about here is their newest from this year. I believe it came out back in July. This is titled Sunny Beats, and it is sunny and it is filled with beats. It's great. Now, like I said, this is Shibuya K, so if you're familiar with the genre, super. In case you're not, that is sort of like jazzy pop. Like, for example, who else is Shibuya K? Lamp is, I would say that Trooper Salute is. I would also say that sometimes Shana Ringo also makes Shibuya K as well. It's just kind of all over. It's a very popular genre, and you would kind of think so because it has the word Shibuya, which is a neighborhood in Tokyo. So yeah. One thing I will say is that I don't think this is anyone's favorite album of theirs. I'm only talking about it here because I do like it a lot. I'm probably not going to make a video on it, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Maybe an 8, but I think 7. What I do want to mention though is that maybe in case you don't like this, if you do check it out, I would also really recommend that album from 2020, which is titled Ine. This is another great one and is also very popular too, for a very good reason, I think. What's more, this album from 2020 and also the newest one are going to run you 1,800 yen each, which is approximately $11.52 in USD. I think that is great. That is so cheap, especially with how expensive CDs and albums can be nowadays. So I think you should check this out if you do like Shibuya K, which I would say leans a little bit more in a rocky direction than a lot of other Shibuya K. And I think I've said Shibuya K enough for the rest of the video, I hope. Nope, probably gonna be talking about it more. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so I'm gonna hit you with some more whiplash here. Next, we're gonna talk about Tattletale. I've been talking about Tattletale all year because of the Next Music from Tokyo event that I went to, that I covered, that I made some videos all about. I love this band. They were super cool live. I think you will like them a lot too if you like screamo, Midwest emo, and some punk, and some indie rock, and not quite metal, though I do feel like it's kind of verging on it too. Did I say Midwest emo? I hope I did. It's also kind of Midwest emo. They have their entire discography here on Bandcamp as of like 3 weeks ago, which is very fortuitous for us, I think. My absolute favorite thing here, though, is going to be their debut album from, I believe, last year, yes, which is titled One-Third. This is amazing. I love every song here. And so actually on my Spotify, if you go to my playlist, which is titled, I think just like 2020s Japanese indie rock, I pretty much have this entire album on there because it's so good. I really like every song here. And if you missed them live, you really missed out because it was insane. Luckily too, a lot of the songs have captured that raw performance, insane energy. And you know, if you listen to it, you can hear some of that as well. And you know what's super cute is if you go to the band page for One-Third, you've got my little logo there because I bought it, because I was going to, because I always said I would, because I support artists, goddammit. Oh, I'm going crazy with it. Okay, next up, Whiplash. I want to talk about the band Rich Macho Gentleman. This is a very interesting band for a few reasons. Okay, one, they are a virtual band. Two, they are the predecessor to the band The Otals, which I covered in a video, I think 3 or 4 months ago. And I want to say it was in those comments where someone said, hey, have you heard of the band Rich Macho Gentleman? And I said, no, I have not. And they said, well, actually, this is The Otals before they became The Otals. So I was like, oh, well, you know, let me go check that out. And what do you know? They are on Bandcamp too. And actually on the Bandcamp header, you can even see the 2 members of The Otals, like, leaving paths from like the other members of this band or whatever. I don't know the actual makeup or like the story here per se. I just know that there's a story here, and how cool is it to have this kind of shared virtual universe with a band, but then they also have real life actual bands play with them on their albums. It's a whole thing. It's really, really cool. You should check this out and watch that video too. I think it's gonna be up this way. Yes, okay. So what kind of music is this? This is shoegaze, this is indie rock, it's kind of poppy because it is so shoegazy. It is pretty much The Otals just before The Otals. So I even want to say that some of the songs made it into their discography from this band's discography as well. So it is very much the same kind of musical DNA at play here, of course. Here on the Bandcamp, they have 2 projects, but I want to talk about the album, which is titled Got a New Radio Star, because it's their only album to my knowledge. I think they might have more EPs that are not here on Bandcamp, but might be elsewhere. And it's hard to describe everything about them because they have a lot going on, but much like this band here, they are shoegaze, they are indie rock, they are a little poppy, they are also very rocky too for that reason. This is going to run you 1,300 JPY, which let me see what that is going to be in USD. Place your bets. It is going to be $8.32. I don't see why not, and like I said, if you like The Otals, just more of it here. So check it out. Okay, so do you know what's coming? Whiplash! Next I'm going to talk about the band Yubiori. They are a really cool kind of post-rock, indie rock, I would also maybe say new metal-ish, Midwest emo-ish sort of band. Now, unfortunately, they only have 1 album here on Bandcamp, which is their very first. It's still fairly recent. It came out in 2022, but I think 4 or 5 months ago, they came out with their second, which is titled Yubiori 2, and I like that one more. Unfortunately, it's not here, but again, same band, same sound. It's just more of the same, really. So here is Yubiori. This is 11 tracks. You are going to get it for 2,000 JPY, which is going to be, I'm going to say like $13. Now, I wouldn't really say that they're in the same mood, you know, new metal wise as Limp Bizkit. They are not rappy really at all. They are just more like hard rock like you would hear in the early 2000s. I guess I would maybe even call this alternative grunge if you can kind of piece together those various thematic sounds into one blob. That's what this is. And I think at the very least, you should check them out on streaming because they are worth your time. Yubiori is so cool, and that second album, man, is crazy. Is great. So with that said, I do really recommend this if you are into 2000s rock. I think that's what I will say, definitively. Jazz album. Next, we are going to talk about the wonderful album, which is titled Contemboki by the band Kiesel. This thing is luscious. This is a music lover's paradise. I made a video on this, I want to say early September, maybe late August, and no one watched it, which is really too bad because you guys missed out because this album is fantastic. And you want to know why I say that? I rated it a 10. And like, I don't think I've seen anyone talk about it like online at all. It's really, really fantastic music. It's so good. I had to leave a review on the Bandcamp page because I enjoyed it that much. There is so much care and attention put into every single song here that it is just undeniably gorgeous sounding. And I think in particular, the song that I talked about in that video was Watashi wa shiranai, which means I don't know. And it is such a beautiful song about why a guy can't figure out why he loves someone. And it's just so great. It's so wonderful. And a lot of the album is like that too. This band is actually comprised of 2 brothers, and that's it. And they do everything here for the most part. And it's just so lovely to listen to. There is a sung poem, I believe, which is track, I want to say 8. But honest to God, this whole album just sounds wonderful. It's like you're out in your cabin in the countryside and you're just looking at the valleys and there's birds flying in front of you. There's like a little sunflower to your right, or maybe some lilies or something. I don't know. It's just such a relaxing, environmentally aware of itself album that is just a joy to listen to. I think this is an instant classic in all kinds of ways, and if you want to hear me talk about it more, you should go watch that video. That would make me happy because I spent, some time on it because I made a video. I'm not mad. But anyway, this thing is just really something special. I cannot recommend it enough. This is going to cost you 2,000 yen, which again is $12.80. I gave it a 10. I think you should buy it. I did. And I'm very happy with the purchase because I listen to it all the time. Next up, yep, you guessed it, we're going to talk about this punk band. This is going to be the EP titled Room by the band Bang Lang. Now, unfortunately, I think Bang Lang might be disbanded, maybe. I think I checked their Twitter recently and they hadn't had any kind of update since like maybe last year or like very early this year. I don't know, it's their Twitter, it's very easy to make a post on. Now, I first found out about this band, I want to say 5-ish years ago when Seapool was still around because the lead singer of Seapool, who is also the lead guitarist of Seapool, made the cover for their very first EP, which I loved. It's called People. It rocks. Go check that out. That should still be on streaming. This here is their second EP, and then, like I said, after this, they've gone dark. It seems like this is just more of what I loved on that first one, though I still like that first one more. What else is super interesting too is that the producer for this album is named Shuhei Kato, who I've been talking about all year. I talked about him a lot in my Maho Gakko video, which you should watch. It's over here too, because he is also the lead singer and lead pretty much everything besides percussion for the band Not Wonk, who I have talked about all year long too. Shuhei Kato is a genius, and I am not surprised to see him just work his magic here as well because it really fits his style, his vibe. I totally see the vision. So anyway, this is kind of grungy, not quite metal, not quite punk. Well, I mean, it is punk. I would call it like indie punk, maybe. It's definitely rocky. I think if you like any kind of rock as far as like Shimo Kitazawa bands go, you will like this too. But really all I can say is that this thing is just crazy hard hitting and you should definitely check them out. Check out that first EP too. Hopefully they're still around. Like I said, I simply do not know, but I would love to hear more from them because this is a band I've been listening to for a very long time. This is going to run you 1,500 JPY, which is probably going to be $7 or $8. I say do it. Okay, so guess what? We're not talking about pop or jazz here. We're going to talk some more about math rock. This is probably and hopefully a band that you know and an album that you love. This is going to be the album World Tour by the band Thrind? Sand, potentially? I don't know, because it's spelled 3ND. Oh, it might be end? I don't know, dude. This is a classic math rock album that you have to know about in case you don't. This is from 2009. It has been with me, I feel like my whole life at this point. It's so cool. It is so prolific in so many ways. But because of that, its very unique sound has been sort of sanded away because there's been so many imitators. Because these guys are such innovators and it's just still really good. But like I said, it's a little bit more washed out sounding these days just because it was so ahead of its time at the time. And so let me tell you what my favorite songs are. They are going to be Monsoon and China and SSK, Midroll, Lotus, Nemuru, Filter and Dust, Natsu Owari, and Waltz for Lily. Oh, whoops, that's all of the songs. Oh no, what a mistake. It's not though. This is an album that I would rate a 10 any day of the week. It's wonderful. Like I said, hopefully you know it because it is a big one. This is going to run you $8.91. I don't know why I don't own this yet. I should. I'm going to. Actually, maybe I might even buy it on Bandcamp Friday. I don't know. Wait, I guess I will. And you should too. Okay, next I am talking about an album that I've actually already talked about this year. This is going to be the album Adrift in Time by the band Veg. This is some fun, jazzy, poppy rock, which is also kind of R&B, I would say a little bit too. This album is actually kind of massive. It's 17 songs long, which hopefully you will like a lot, though I think in my review, I kind of said, I like them, I just wish maybe there weren't as many songs, or maybe some got turned into interludes, because I don't think there's enough to pad out the whole thing here, yet still, I love this album. It's great. I want to say I gave it a 7, maybe an 8, but I want to say 7. That's just like what I see in my mind's eye. This is going to run you 3,300 JPY, which I think is about $20-ish. Oh wait, you know what? That's actually the price for the CD. The actual digital album is actually only 2,400 JPY, which let me do some computing. Beep beep boop boop. Bop, bop, boop, beep, beep, boop. That's gonna run you $15. I don't see why not. That's a great price. Let's see, what can $15 get you? It's like one meal, okay, in Seattle, if you're lucky, let's be honest. Maybe 2 coffees in Seattle, if you're lucky, let's be honest. Regardless, I think you should check this out in any way you can, because this is probably one of the better jazz albums of this year, though of course that's really hard to say because there's just been so many great ones. I mean, that bet cover one, oh my god, dude. But yeah, that is going to be my recommendation for this section in the video. Next one, okay, nice transition, nailed it. This next one, I don't want to spoil it for you. I think you should go listen to it before you even watch this section of the video. It's fairly short. This is going to be Shugo by the band Denkyu. Okay, so Shugo means assembly. And this is like an assemblage of sounds. It sounds like you are listening to a guy listening to music. That's how I would describe this. It sounds like a journey through someone's day, if I had to really quantify it in some way. This is 5 tracks. I want to say it's about 26 minutes long, and it is electronic ambient, though it also uses a lot of real life ambient sounds too. Like I said, it sounds like you're in someone's life as they go about it. It's really, really fascinating to listen to. It's also only going to run you $3. I love this. The mixing is probably some of the best I've heard all year. That's how much I like it. There is also a companion album, or I guess EP, which came out on the same day. This other one is called Bunkai, and this is also on Bandcamp, and this means disassembly, which is kind of ironic. Well, I guess not ironic, because the cover is very much, you know, deconstructing the first cover. Anyway, these are some great pieces of music. I really think you should check them out. Again, though, I would still say that my favorite is that first I talked about, though both are really, really great. And I definitely plan to talk about these in my year-end video for sure. So please check this out. They are so cheap. It's so cheap. It's gonna cost you like $6 for all of it, dude. Just get it. And so with that said, I am going to give this EP a deal alert because I think you should buy it. It's so cheap. I don't know why you would not own something that is this amazing at this price point. You are getting spoiled, I think. Next on the list is going to be the newest album from the band Cinema Staff. This is titled Plastic Youth. They had a song for Attack on Titan, I think maybe an ending song, and that propelled them into the stratosphere. They are very popular now, and for that reason, it is very cool that they have an album like this on Bandcamp, because they probably don't need to, yet they did. Love that. This is going to cost you $13. I have not had a chance to talk about it so far this year. I think it came out in June or maybe even May, because it's just been busy for me. I think you'll like it a lot if you do like alternative rock that is kind of pop punky, pop rocky, just a little bit. I wouldn't quite call this one of those mainstream J-rock albums that also kind of leans jazzy. It's more so poppy than anything. I think if you like maybe the harder edge of indie rock with maybe some more mainstream J-rock pop sensibilities, this is for you. This album is also going to be a clean-cut $13. I say check it out for that price for sure. I think maybe listen to it first, of course, but I think you'll like it, and I think if you do have $13, you'll probably spend it on this, because this is something that I think is pretty much digestible for anyone who listens to it. Another album I need to talk about is Klepsydra by Chocho Mert Syrups. This, again, is a legendary math rock album in my opinion. This thing is really special because this is one of the best math rock albums of the 2010s, I would say. I think, in my opinion, the 3 most important indie rock bands for Japan in the 2010s are Shriko, Kinoko Teikoku, and Chocho Mert Syrups. I stand by that. Stand by it. Before you come at me, let me clarify. I think these are the three most popular bands that like came to prominence in the 2010s and then finished it still very prominently, like huge. Though, of course, at kind of all different situations, which I'll talk about now. So, you know, Chocho Merge Serps, they kind of threw in the towel, not in a bad way, but they said, we're just done for now. And that made everyone sad until this year, like 7 months ago, they came out with a new set of 3 songs. I almost started crying because of how good albums like this are. This thing is incredible, and it's $6 damn. What the hell? This is a modern J-rock classic. I don't care what anyone says, you have to own this. It is just absolutely incredible. You are going to love it. I guarantee you 100%. Please believe me, okay? This is some really just energetic punk math rock, and that's just something we all need in our lives. $6, deal alert, okay? You have to own this. This is a modern classic. You need to. They also have another of their EP albums on here too, which I always forget the name of. It's called Since. Wonderful, just as good. And guess what? It's also $6 dang. Please go buy this. Deal alert. I really do not have anything else I can say because these are just incredible. And again, I don't want to spoil these for you. I don't want to hype them too much because then maybe you won't think it lives up to it. But honest to God, these are classic math rock albums. So you have to listen to it. You have no choice. Sorry. Yeah, that's just kind of how it is. One album I absolutely adore is Fantasia by the artist Yuma Abe. I have talked about him last year a little bit and this year a little bit too. I have his 2 records on vinyl, which I'm very happy about, and they're signed too. Very happy about that. Now, what you should know about Yuma Abe is that actually he is the lead singer of the band Never Young Beach, who hopefully you've heard about. He is another Shibuya K guy, but this thing here is like sad boy rock. It's very much like Mac DeMarco. So I think if you like Salad Days era Mac DeMarco, this is right up your alley. And I think that's really all I have to say about it musically too. It is just a really sad, solemn, yet happy album too. And I would say that probably one of my favorite aspects is actually that tracks 2, 5, 8, and 9 are mixed by Haruomi Hosono. So it's pretty good. This is a great album with a ton of course, Hosono energy and influence, and that's kind of his whole style actually. Check this out, maybe if it's a rainy day or you're just sad, because otherwise this might just like ruin your whole day, and I don't want that for you. Maybe for someone else, but not for you specifically, okay? So anyway, check this out. This is going to run you $10 for the digital album. Try, please, oh my God, listen to this, or if you even can, get your hands on the vinyl because they are great. And then of course, I do also recommend his album from last year, which I talked about a little bit, which is called Hotel New Yuma. I also think I've maybe talked about it in another Bandcamp video too, so I won't go over it here too much, but please also check that out. It is a lot more fun, a lot more happy, and maybe it's a nice pick-me-up after you listen to this one. Hakushi Hasegawa, Hakushi Hasegawa, Hakushi Hasegawa. Hopefully I summoned Hakushi Hasegawa because I want to talk about Bones of Dreams Attacked, which is a really cool cover album from Hakushi Hasegawa, the, in my opinion, prolific, modern-day, legendary, hyper-pop, hyper-jazz producer, singer, pianist, everything. And actually, I like their work so much that I made a whole video essay on their most recent album. Check it out. It's right there. Thank you. Actually, I think I talked about it a second ago, huh? So you've already seen it. But now here it is again. Thank you. Okay, so this is a cover album. There is a lot here. There are some covers of Sambo Master, Sakana Action. There's even I Can Show You the World at the very end, and it's just wonderful. And of course it is, because Hakushi Hasegawa is a genius, like I keep saying. They can make anything sound uniquely in their style, and it should be super weird on paper, but man, it hits. Oh my God. On top of all that too, there is also a cover of the song Love Zukyun by the artist So Taisei Riron. I always get it mixed up. But it is so great, and I think you'll like it a lot, especially if you are a fan of the songs on here that are being covered, because I think Hakushi Hasegawa's style just really works for everything happening here. Dude, deal alert. Okay, great. $7 is wonderful, and I love the cover. There is a site somewhere where they have the cover in like 4,000 by 4,000 resolution, and I want to print that out so bad because it is just crazy. And yeah, that's all I got. Okay, so next up, I want to talk about a wonderful pop album from the artist Orisaka Yuta, and this is called Heisei. This is, I want to say, from 2018, and this is just one of the premier indie pop albums of the last decade at the very least. This thing is just so wonderful to listen to. The instrumentation is gorgeous, and as always, Orisaka Yuta's voice is just smooth, divine, great. I love him. Here, as always, Yuta just sounds divine. He has such a warm, flowing voice, and that of course perfectly suits his really just fabulous instrumentals on every single song. This is really just such a perfect indie pop album for all kinds of reasons. I would have hoped that you've heard of this. I don't know you. I just really hope so. But this is going to run you 2,000 JPY, which I think, as we've established, is like $12.80. I'm gonna buy this for sure. This is just such a wonderful album that I am so happy and also surprised it is on Bandcamp, but that just means we can support him directly, and I'm super okay with that. There is a band with the name of Maya Ongaku, and they make some really groovy ambient electronic music. I would say it is ambient, though it's very dancey too, which is why I say groovy. This thing just got my shoulders moving, you know? What I want to talk about here is their newest EP, which I want to say is from last year actually, which is titled Electric Phantoms. This is another that I have on vinyl. I love it a lot. I play it a lot. It sounds great, but if for whatever reason this is too short for your liking, they also have their debut album on here too, which is titled Approach to Anima, and this is from 2023. It's just as good, though I think I slightly prefer Electronic Phantoms only because it's like their newest work, and so it's kind of got that matured sound to it just a little bit. And my recommendation is you should listen to it all the way through. It is really a proper, complete experience that way. Approach to Anima is going to cost you $7 euro, or sorry, I guess just £7. No, €7. There we go. And so is the EP. They are the same price. I personally think they are definitely worth it. I think in like USD, that's around $7 anyway. So check it out. They are great. And if not, at least listen to them online. Maybe watch an online performance because they are spectacular. I was lucky enough to see them here in Seattle, I think back in March, and totally worth the money. So great. Next up is a fun one. This is going to be the album Under This Cherry Tree by the band ferri-chrome. And this is special for a few reasons. One, it is shoegaze. It's great, it's lovely, it's very flowery, it's wonderful. And second off, this is going to cost you 1,000 JPY, so I'm gonna say like $7-ish. Thirdly, this features on guitar the lead singer of For Tracy Hyde, aka Eureka. This is her side project that she started working on, I wanna say before For Tracy Hyde ended back in 2022, and it really just continues their whole sound and spirit in a way, though of course a lot of the other members are doing their own thing and still continuing the For Tracy Hyde legacy in their own ways, though this here is how Eureka is doing it. Like I said, she is only on guitar here. She is not the lead singer, though I think she is doing backup vocals as well every once in a while, and somehow I actually missed it coming out last year, so I think I only found out about this in like February, and then I found out like a few months ago, like, hey, it's on Bandcamp, so I should talk about it next time. I think if you like shoegaze, I think if you like For Tracy Hyde, or if you just like the work from Eureka in general, who has worked with the Odals, you'll like this a ton, because I know I do. And I think if you know me and you like what I like, then you know that this is a good rec, because I think it is. So that's a great reason, right? One of the artists that I talked about in my experimental Japanese music video is Yuka Nagase. And in that video, I talked about her album Mofu Mofu. And guess what's on Bandcamp? Mofu Mofu. So we're gonna talk about it here. This is $10. This album is like experimental electronic Shibuya-kei. And if that sounds cool to you, because I know it sounds cool to me, you are going to enjoy this one a ton. It is so special. Yuka Nagase is so cool. I just think that she has a really unique ear for music that is just so out of the ordinary, yet is still able to make it all work somehow. She is like the glue. She is like the Kanye of the people that she works with, though not in a lot of ways. Let's say that, huh? My favorite song on here was the one which is titled We Are Sputnik, though I did really like Wonderful VHS too. They are just so fun. And actually, now that I look at this, Shotaro Shimizu from Kurayami Saka actually did the production in some capacity and the lyrics for the 7th song, which is called Hikari. That is actually super, super cool. Hopefully you know who Kurayami Saka is, because everyone else does. But so anyway, I think this thing is a joy to listen to. It is gonna be $10, and it looks like you can purchase it in all kinds of formats, which include cassette tape, CD, and USB flash drive. So how fun is that? I think if this ever comes to vinyl, I will find a way to get it because I enjoy this thing a ton, and I really think you will too, because it is just so fun to listen to. I just think we need more fun music, and this is a great place to start. I believe in my very first Bandcamp video, I talked about the artist Yuragi. They are a band from Japan. They are kind of shoegaze, kind of post-rock. It's just lots of reverb on top of indie rock. And in that section, I talked about their newest album, which came out back in February or March. But here, I want to talk about their OG claim to fame, which is going to be the EP, which is titled Nightlife. This came out in 2016 and was a smash hit. It was so much of a smash hit. I heard about it here in America just out of the blue. And I think that's what really got me started down the path of listening to Japanese music more intensely, because this thing was revolutionary. There were only 4 songs on this EP, which, okay, sure. It is probably gonna run you $7, I guess maybe even $6. But what's so special is the first 2 songs, and they are called Soon and Night is Young. And they are just what Japanese shoegaze is all about. They are wonderful. I still love them to this day, as do many people, because this is just a legendary EP for anyone. And I think they really followed it up in a lot of cool ways. And I guess if you haven't, you should check out their newest album from this year. It is titled In Your Languages, and I have a review for it here. And this is what the Bandcamp page looks like here. It's just honest to God, wonderful shoegaze. And I felt like because I hadn't talked about this specifically yet, it's a perfect time to. Bandcamp Friday, you should buy this because I know I will. Okay, so we are at the last album here now, and I want to go out with a bang. So I want to talk about Tradition by the band whose name I can never pronounce right on the first try, Chocopa Kochoko Kinki. I talked about them most recently in an EP review for, I want to say, August, maybe September. Well, yes, I did talk about their new EP at the time in that video. What else I talked a ton about is this album here. This is insane. It basically captures the sound and the spirit and the style of so many traditional cultural sounds from across the world. It's not just Japan here. And this thing is just such a worldwide Indiana Jones type sort of experience. It's so interesting. It's so unique. I love it a ton because I love the songs. I love the way they were recorded. I love the variety, but yet it all still works because these are some amazing musicians that I think are really going to go on to do amazing things throughout the rest of their careers. I really, really think that. If I had to rate this album, which I haven't yet, I'm gonna give it a 10. This album is just so abundantly filled with life and history and things maybe forgotten and are now being dug up again. It's so wonderful. I cannot recommend this enough. This is 2037 JPY, which I feel like has to be some kind of meaning tied to it. I don't know. But that is going to run you $13. This is absolutely fantastic. This is worth $50, I think. This is just such a real modern joy to listen to. It's just insane. And maybe I'll be wrong about this, but I think when you listen to it, you will get it, and then you will tell all of your friends to listen to this because it is just that spectacular that you have to share it with others, like I am now, because it's just great. Please listen to it. Okay, and that's everything. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to hear me talk more about Japanese music, hey, you know where I'm at. You can subscribe, and you can watch my other Bandcamp videos because they are here. They will also be in the description too. Maybe if I missed anything, let me know in the comments because I probably did. And actually, I would love your recommendations for my next video because then I can just shout out more of the bands there. I think I have maybe 30 or 40 more bands to talk about in the future. I just cannot be making 4-hour videos for a 24-hour event. That's insane. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching. More so than anything, support these artists, get them paid, and go get yourself some cool new music. You really should. Bye.